You know, when you use a piece of software that just feels like magic, have you ever stopped and wondered, how in the world did they build this? We have this picture in our heads of some lone genius having a eureka moment. But what if the real story is, well, quieter, a lot more methodical, and it's happening every single day? So let's actually pull back the curtain. How do these massive, really intelligent AI systems actually come to be? We only ever see the polished, final product, but what does that day-to-day grind of coding and problem-solving really look like? Well, here's the secret. It is not one giant leap across some huge chasm. It's more like building a staircase, one small, deliberate step at a time. It's all about daily evolution, not sudden revolution. And that is exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to zoom way in on a single, seemingly ordinary day inside a real AI project. The date, March 12th, 2026. By digging into the actual code and the developer logs from that one 24-hour period, we get to see this evolution in action, up close. Okay, so the project we're going to be examining is this really impressive automation platform they call Woodbury. So what is it? At its heart, Woodbury is a desktop app that uses AI to watch you do your work. You know, all the tedious stuff like clicking through websites, filling out forms, moving files around. And then it learns to do all those tasks for you. And listen, this is no simple little app. Woodbury is an absolute beast, made up of all these different subsystems that have to work together perfectly. You've got the main desktop shell, the server that acts as the brain, a Chrome extension, the AI agent itself. I mean, this is a seriously sophisticated piece of engineering. Now, here's a key idea you gotta understand for this to make sense. It's something called a composition. The best way to think of it is like a digital assembly line. It's a workflow you can build and reuse, where you chain a bunch of different actions together to automate something really complex. And this idea is totally central to the story of what happened on March 12th. So, the first major theme of the work done that day was all about taking these super powerful automation pipelines and making them accessible to, well, everyone. See, the developers had built this incredibly powerful engine, but they ran smack into a classic problem. How do you take a tool that was built by an expert and make it so that anybody can use it? In the beginning, using one of these compositions was like someone handing you a complex circuit board. I mean, it was this visual jungle of nodes and wires that made total sense to the engineer who designed it, but for a normal person, it was completely overwhelming. And the solution they landed on that day was just brilliant in its simplicity. They basically made it so you could take that super complex, expert-only graph and transform it into a simple, shareable web form. All of a sudden, you didn't have to understand the whole circuit board. You could just fill in a couple of key details, like a person's name or a product to search for, and just hit run. Game changer. And here it is, straight from the developer's log, the why behind it all. Exposed variable nodes make compositions runnable by people who did not build the graph. It's just a perfect example of a small, focused change that has this massive, massive impact on how usable the entire system is. All right, so that brings us to the second major theme of the day, making the code that the AI itself writes a whole lot smarter and way more reliable. So inside these automation pipelines, there's this special kind of step called a script node. This is basically a little box that can run custom code. And get this, that code is often written by Woodbury's own AI assistant to handle some unique one-off task. Now, that is an awesome feature, right? But it opens up a whole new can of worms. AI is incredibly powerful, but we all know it's not perfect. So what happens when the code the AI writes has a bug? Well, according to the project's own documentation, a common and kind of funny bug was what they called JSON objects masquerading as code. Basically, instead of writing instructions, the AI would just spit out a block of data. It's like asking for a recipe to bake a cake and getting a grocery list instead. It's not going to work. So on this one day, the team attacked this problem from two different angles. First, they added a real professional code editor right into the tool, so a human could easily jump in and fix things. And second, they built a much, much smarter way to fix these bugs automatically. In this new auto-fix system was a huge leap. Before, the system could only look at the broken code by itself and just kind of guess at a fix. But the new version is graph-aware. That means it analyzes the entire assembly line, how data is supposed to flow from one step to the next, to understand the real problem, which, it turns out, was usually a mismatch in the wiring between the different steps.
And once again, the developer's log just nails it. They wrote, graph-aware repair is a better fit because many failures are really port and wiring mismatches. They realized the problem wasn't just one broken script in a vacuum, so the solution couldn't be either.
So when you step back and look at all of this, what was the total impact of this one single day of work? Well, the crucial point here is that neither of these changes was some flashy, headline-grabbing new feature. No, these were fundamental improvements that just made the entire platform better, more usable, more robust, and just plain more trustworthy. When you add it all up, the net effect of March 12th was huge. The platform became way more usable, turning these expert tools into simple products anyone could run. It became more trustworthy because AI errors were now handled with smarts and structure instead of just pure guesswork. And because of all that, the entire system just became more powerful. And this brings us right back to where we started. Building amazing software isn't really about those giant, dramatic leaps. It's about the focused, intelligent, consistent effort of thousands of days just like this one, all stacked one on top of the other. And it really leaves you with one final thought. If this is what they can accomplish in a single day, just imagine what's possible in a month or in a year.